It's here, guys. Too excited.
I was too excited?
Yeah, we've been waiting literally all day for this machine to show up. Well, technically since yesterday.
Alright. Ready?
Yeah. Ooh. Oh my god, guys. Is this happening? There it is. Holy cow. I'm so Okay guys, so the delivery driver, he like showed up, was about to unload the machine, but there was no machine in his truck. For whatever reason, he didn't have the machine. I'm assuming the company didn't like load it onto his truck. He was like, oh, I might have delivered it to the previous house by accident, so let me go check it out and see if I delivered it there. He took down our number and just drove off, and we waited probably like 2 hours trying to figure out where our machine was, and the whole time I'm stressed and thinking, oh my god, he dropped it off at somebody else's house, our machine's gonna get jacked and we're gonna be out of a machine. But luckily it was still at the warehouse and he went and picked it up for us, which I feel bad for him because he had to waste his gas money to go fix somebody else's mistake. So, but luckily the machine's here. Now we just need to figure out how we're gonna get it inside because it's gonna take like at least 2 guys or 3 guys to carry it in. So we're just waiting to hear back from some friends to see if they can help us get it inside, but it's here. It looks like everything inside of the crate is fine, so I'm just excited to get it inside. I'm a little stressed out thinking about my husband trying to carry it in. So I don't know if I'm gonna get any of that on footage because I'm gonna be like off to the side stressing out. So I'll see you guys in a bit and I'll show you guys my new baby. Okay guys, so we got all of like the stuff that we could carry from inside of the crate moved inside of the house, but we still have the machine out front. So what we're gonna do right now is assemble the base of the embroidery machine, so when we carry it inside we'll have something to put it on. So let me show you what the base so far looks like. We still need to assemble it, so these are the parts basically so far. Here are the legs. I believe that's part of the bottom shelf, or this is part of the base of the machine. Here's the table of the embroidery machine. We probably won't use this because we're not going to be embroidering huge heavy things quite yet. Eventually we will, but as of right now we won't need the table, so we're not going to use the table for right now, but we're going to go ahead and assemble the base, and once our friends get here we'll be able to put the machine on the base and we'll be able to hopefully get everything else hooked up and ready to go. We do have a bunch of stuff that was also included, which was also included in the box. I'm gonna go through all of this stuff once we have the machine. My son's surfing. I'll go over everything once we have the machine like set up. So I definitely will be going through everything and showing you guys what we got in the crate or with the machine. But yeah, I'll see you guys in a bit. guys, I'm back. It's the next day. I'm not really sure how much I recorded yesterday. It was really chaotic trying to move in this machine and have my two little ones running around as well. So yesterday, after the company dropped off the machine, we carried in all of like the stuff we could carry in just by ourselves, me and my husband. And then later, probably around 8 o'clock at night, my husband had two friends come and help us carry in the machine and set it up on the stand. Just watching them try and move the machine around like gave me the worst anxiety. So I wasn't able to record because I was dealing with the kids while they were moving the machine inside of the house. What we had to do basically was we built the stand and took the stand outside and basically put the machine on the stand, reeled it to our front door. They lifted up the stand and the machine and got it inside the house. I don't know if that's the best way to do it. It actually had a really hard time squeezing through our front door, and before we even bought the machine, we measured all our doorways so we could kind of have like a game plan on how we would get the machine inside the house. And I don't think they factor in like the screen, because the screen sticks out a little bit further than the machine. So we had to like detach the screen and move it in that way because it wouldn't fit through our doorway. My husband and two of his friends, one of them was an ex-bouncer, so you know, with those three together they could move a lot of weight, but they struggled, and I mean struggled, getting that machine inside the house. So if you end up buying a machine like this, or this machine specifically, just have a game plan on how you're gonna get it inside the house, because it was challenging even with three big dudes. They had trouble moving it. But we got it inside the house safely, hopefully. We haven't turned it on yet, so hopefully we didn't ruin anything moving it from our front yard to the inside of the house. But we have the machine set up on the stand, and I'll show you guys in just a second. I'm also going to show you guys everything that came inside of the crate, everything that came with the machine basically. And later on I'm going to give you guys like a first impression of like the whole buying experience, and I'll go ahead and kind of review that with you guys. Okay, so here is the multi-needle. I thought it was going to be a lot taller, but honestly it's perfect because I'm pretty short, so it works out perfectly for me. We are going to need to get a surge protector down there because we'll be using these two machines with that outlet. So we're going to get a surge protector and use that before we even use the machine, because I don't want to mess anything up. So let's just look at the machine. So the machine comes with an embroidered hat already on. So here is like the hat hoop. And like I mentioned earlier, we had to detach like the screen. So we had to basically like unscrew it right here. And it was like dangling, but my husband held it while they moved it in. But so we had to detach that just to be able to get it through the door. And just like on most multi-needles, it looks like my husband already undid it, but all the strings were all tied together because the machine already comes threaded. So basically you'll tie, and this camera's not picking it up, but you'll tie the old thread to the new thread that you're going to be using and just pull the thread basically through all this. But while they were moving it, some of the threads got unthreaded and all messed up, so I'm going to be rethreading a couple of the needles and then switching out all the threads basically. So putting the threads that I'll be using on the machine. So yeah, there's the machine. So far, I love how it looks. It is a beast. So I gave this machine a name, my employee a name. I'm gonna call him Gordo just because he's big. He's a big guy. But let's go ahead and look at the stuff that I got. So in this video, I'm gonna be switching out the hat hoop for just the regular hoop. So I need to attach these to the machine. Not 100% sure what these are, and because I am new to like multi-needles and all that, I'm not gonna know all the names and what these parts are for. I'm still learning, so this isn't gonna be like the best unboxing video for you guys, so I do apologize. But I'm just gonna be showing you guys everything that came with the machine. So again, we got this. This is gonna be for the hoops to like do shirts and sweatshirts and all the stuff that I have planned with the embroidery machine. This, I'm guessing, is for the table that came with the machine. Not 100% sure, I could be wrong. It also came with like a little toolbox, came with some tools that we'll need to be able to maintain and care for the machine, came with some applique scissors, some oil for the machine, some like extra parts, and just like a bunch of other things. Stuff that I don't know what it's for. It came with like a bunch of needles too. I actually had to purchase some ballpoint needles because I totally forgot, because I'm going to be doing t-shirts. I need to get ballpoint needles. So I ordered some from Amazon, but they're not going to be here for a few days. But yeah, it just came with like a little toolbox of all the stuff that you could possibly need to be able to help maintain, or hopefully not to fix the machine, but all the tools that you need basically to keep this machine running. And then over here is the table that will attach to the machine. I'm not going to use the table because if I were to put the table on the machine, it would just stick out way too far, and then our walkway would just be like completely gone. So we're not going to be embroidering anything super heavy, so we're not going to really need the table quite yet. When we do need a table, we'll probably hopefully be working out in the garage, but for right now we're not going to be attaching the table. It also came with one of these really massive hoops. I think this hoop would be perfect for like doing patches and bigger items. I probably won't be using this anytime soon, but who knows. I haven't quite like pinned down exactly what we're all going to be making on this machine, but it came with one of these big massive hoops. Came with a cap station. So basically it came with like an extra hoop, and then the little station that you'll need to be able to like hoop the hat onto the hoop. I think I said that correctly. But it came with an extra one, so we'll be able to have like one hat going on the machine, and then we'll have another hat hooped and ready to go, because we plan on doing a lot of hats. So stay tuned for that. We also got these with the machine. I believe these are called the 8-in-1 hoops. These are going to be perfect for doing like logos, chest logos on shirts and things like that. So this is going to be perfect for doing those types of projects. Came with embroidery software. I use Sew Up Pro, so I'm not sure if I'm going to use this or not. I might. Haven't decided quite yet. They did send me a massive roll of stabilizers. That's pretty cool. They sent me that. They also sent me 2 things of just regular hoops that just come standard with the machine. I'm still going to order some mighty hoops, so that's on my to-do list. But that's something I'm going to have to purchase soon, but I'm going to go ahead and just use these for now until I get a couple of sales to be able to purchase the mighty hoops. So I just got to get this machine running so I can get some sales, and then I'll be able to upgrade my hoops. But they sent me 1, 2 of those. So that's going to be kind of nice when I have multiple shirt orders. I'll be able to have one hooped and then have one going on the machine. They also sent me a ton of different threads. Some of these are like perfect. This is like identical to one of the pinks that I use, so that's kind of nice. But they sent a bunch of threads. I did just spend quite a bit of money on embroidery threads from All Stitch. So I'll do a whole unboxing video for all the new threads that I bought, and I'll make sure and leave the link for where I purchased my embroidery threads down below. So if you guys want to check that out, I'll have that linked down below. But in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and use these because, you know, it's free thread. Why not, you know? It's like business costs that I can cut out at least until I have to buy more embroidery thread. And then the power cord. And then these are the clamps. I believe, for the 8-in-1 hoops or whatever they're called. And then they also sent this machine out with a bunch of bobbins. When I got this, I was like, oh sweet, they sent us a bunch of pre-wound bobbins, but no, it's just like empty bobbins. So they sent a bobbin winder as well, so I need to purchase some more bobbin thread so I can wind my own bobbins. I also bought a bunch of pre-wound bobbins because I don't know if I'm gonna want to sit here and like wind all these bobbins, but that's like a job I could give to like my husband or to my niece. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and thread the machine. Now, like I said before, some of the threads, basically all you're gonna do is just tie the new embroidery thread to the string that they have attached, because they already have it like pre-threaded for you. So I'm just gonna tie the string to the previous string and just pull it through until the new thread is pulled all the way through, basically. But when they were moving the machine inside, some of the threads came undone, so I'm gonna actually have to rethread some of the needles, which is okay because I need to learn how to do that anyways. BAi does have a few tutorials on YouTube on how to like thread your machine, so I'm gonna go ahead and watch those while I try and thread this. I also need to put in a bobbin as well, and I need to take this hat hoop off and attach this. So this might be a struggle. Again, I'm no expert. This is my first multi-needle machine, so you guys are gonna be kind of learning along with me. But yeah, I'm excited to just get this up and going, and then hopefully tonight I can start making some samples. I don't have any ballpoint needles, so I can't make any like shirts, so we'll see. I'm just gonna start making stuff, and yeah, and hopefully it turns out okay. I'm hoping that this machine is just ready to go and just like, so I can just get started on making stuff, because I am so behind on back to school items and I need to get Halloween stuff up. I'm like slacking and I don't want to miss out on either of those. So tonight, tomorrow, basically the whole weekend, I'm just gonna be focused on making new samples for my shop. But I'm gonna quit rambling and just get started. I'm gonna thread this, put these on, and then I'll kind of tell you guys my first impressions of this whole BAi embroidery experience. So currently I'm trying to just finish up threading this machine. All of them are threaded except a few of these threads I still need to put through the needle, and then one of them I have to try and rethread all by myself. So it's a little intimidating, but I think once you like practice it over and over again, you'll just kind of get it. But this definitely won't be like a tutorial on how to thread this machine because I'm still learning. Definitely this machine so far is a big learning curve from coming from a single needle. Okay guys, so the machine is all threaded. Hopefully we did it correctly. We watched a bunch of videos on how to do it. So basically the next part now that I'm gonna do is take off this hat hoop and put on these so I can be able to hoop like my shirts and stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. Alright guys, so I took off the hat hoop. This is the hat that originally came on the machine. So I took this part off. Now I'm gonna go ahead and try and take this part off. I still need to install the arms, but I wanted to go ahead and turn the machine on. So here is the moment of truth. Let's see if it turns on. It's on. Okay. It's reading, doing something. Emergency stops on. I don't know why. So a message popped up. It says emergency stop. So I don't know why that's popping up. So I need to go and look online and troubleshoot and figure out why this is popping up. But this is one reason why this machine is not for everybody. You definitely have to do a lot of your own research. You have to troubleshoot things on your own. Luckily, there is the BAi group. There's a lot of people that are extremely helpful with any issues that you may have with a machine. And with any machine you get, you have issues. It's just, that's what happens when you're working with machinery. But I'm gonna go ahead and look online and see why this is popping up. But definitely, yeah, you're gonna have to do a lot of research and a lot of your own work to try and figure out how to use this machine. So I just did like a little search on the BAi Embroidery group. Big thumbs up to them, because I just typed in my exact situation and other people who had the same issue as me. A bunch of resolutions popped up, so I was able to figure it out. Basically, all you have to do, this little red knob, you're going to turn it to the right just a little bit and it'll kind of like spring out. Okay, so basically now I'm gonna go ahead and finally get these arms attached. Okay guys, so it is the next day. We've already done one stitch out, just kind of practice and see how it ran. It turned out okay. We just had to make a few adjustments with like the stabilizer and how we hooped it. I'm gonna go ahead now and actually try to do a number applique shirt. I already tested the machine to make sure that the needle wouldn't hit the plate. Everything's good. And I'm gonna show you guys a whole like tutorial on how to use the machine. It's just, I need to figure it out first before I can teach you guys anything. But let's go ahead and let's test stitch this out and let's see how it turns out. Hopefully it turns out okay. Okay guys, so when I put the shirt back on the hoop, instead of pressing the go button, I accidentally pressed this button. And when I did that, it completely like shifted the design upwards. I don't know if I have the design completely lined up correctly to the applique that I already have down. So I'm just gonna go ahead and run the machine. Hopefully I was able to get it lined up correctly. If not, we'll have a design that's completely off. But this is like my first official shirt on this machine, so of course there's gonna be some mess ups and some errors, but let's go ahead and let's just see how it stitches out. So as you guys can see, it didn't line up all that well with the original applique design. I'm not too worried about it because this is for my kids, so if it doesn't match up that well, that's okay. So far this machine is like so much quicker than my little P800 and my Baby Lock Flourish 2. so we're having our first little mishap. As you can see, we were having some issues with the thread, and my design was shifted, but the satin stitches are kind of covering up my mistake pretty well. Eric's trying to figure out how to get this to stop. But basically what happened was the black thread got caught on these little foam pads. So what we're gonna do once I'm done with this shirt is we're gonna remove all these little foam pads because you really don't need them. And it'll kind of help your spools sit completely flush with the top of the embroidery machine. So I totally recommend taking these little foam pads off so you don't run into that issue because the thread got snagged. So I re-threaded it. Now we just need to figure out how to get this to stop so we can go back a few stitches and cover up the bobbin stitches that popped through. But again, so far, not too many major issues that we've experienced yet. Okay guys, so here is the number applique that I did on my machine. I must say the stitches on the name came out perfect, and also I didn't use any ballpoint needles because they haven't arrived yet from Amazon. So I'm waiting on some ballpoint needles, but I used the sharp needles and the name came out perfect. However, the 3, somehow I like shifted the design and it kind of threw off the stitches on the 3. So definitely it was my error. I know not to do whatever I did again, but the stitches overall came out really nice. You could just see some of the fabric popping through, and that's just because of the stitches being off, but the satin stitches pretty much kind of almost covered it. I definitely should have used a bigger hoop, and then I made it a little bit too low, so I think if I had the bigger hoop and moved the design up a little bit more, I think it would have been perfect. I definitely need to order some mighty hoops. That's like on my to-do list tonight, is to try and order some. Hopefully the ones that I need are in stock. I tried using this hoop with these shirts, and I don't know what it is with this hoop. I had so much trouble getting it onto the machine. I actually hurt my finger trying to get these on because my finger, like my hand slipped and like jabbed right into the metal. So for whatever reason, this hoop though is not my friend and doesn't want to attach to the machine. So I'm gonna be looking for the 8x10, I believe, mighty hoop, and be able to use that for shirts. But the machine itself I'm in love with. Overall, I'm really impressed. Definitely there's a learning curve, but I think with practice and trying to figure out this machine, it'll be a breeze. A few of you guys have asked a few questions so far on my Facebook group about this machine, and I'll kind of answer those questions here in the video. Some of you guys asked how long did it take for me to receive my machine. It took exactly 2 months for this machine to arrive, which wasn't too bad because it came all the way from China. 2 months, that's not too bad. I do live in California, and the port where the machines are dropped off is in Southern California, and I live in Northern California, so it wasn't too much of a travel distance, I guess, to get from the ports to my home. But overall, it took exactly 2 months. They do have a warehouse now in Houston, so you can purchase the machine and get it within, I believe, 2 weeks, I want to say. But you can order and get the machine from the Houston warehouse, and if you live anywhere near Houston or in Houston, you can actually go to the warehouse and pick it up yourself. But having a 2-week delivery time, that's not too bad. Some of you also asked how much did I pay for this machine. I got the 15 needle Vision Industrial BAi machine, and that cost me $6,100 or $6,100 including shipping. So for a 15 needle industrial machine, a little bit more than $6,000 is not that bad, considering, you know, Ricomas, they're around $15,000 for a machine similar to this one, and then Melco's costing a little bit around $13,000 to $14,000 for a machine similar to this. Obviously I don't have a Ricoma or a Melco to compare this machine to, but so far it's done everything that I've needed it to, so I'm impressed with it. Definitely a fast stitch out. I'm really curious to see how hats do on the embroidery machine, so stay tuned for videos on us embroidering hats, because I want to see if it can hold up doing those structured hats, those hats that are typically challenging for machines to be able to embroider on. They also do have another model, or they have different models that you can choose from. That's a little bit cheaper than the one we got. I believe they have one for around $4,000, so that's not bad. Couple downfalls though about this machine so far. You basically, once you get the machine, you don't have too much help trying to figure out how to use the machine. Now BAi, they do have a YouTube channel that has like tutorials on how to like thread the machine and what to do if this happens and things like that. But we did join 2 BAi groups, and the 2 BAi groups that we joined have been so tremendously helpful. There's a few group members in the group that have helped us tremendously with troubleshooting things and just helping us solve some initial problems. Another thing is too, where the spools sit, there is like this little foam circular thing. These little things, our threads kept getting caught on this and causing thread breaks, so we're gonna be removing all of these from the machine, and once we remove them, we had no issues. Another thing too, the whole having to wait on shipping was kind of not an issue, but kind of sucked too at the same time. You don't really get a tracking number until it gets to the United States, and even then, depending on the company, I guess, that picks up your machine, they don't really give too much detail on like tracking, I guess. But you don't really know when you're gonna get the machine until like the day before. So it was kind of hard trying to plan out like days off from work to be able to wait around to get the machine. My husband actually had to miss 2 days of work because of just waiting on the machine, which kind of sucked. But the machine's here now and it's working great. So besides the whole tracking information and knowing when your machine's gonna come, the overall experience wasn't too bad with the whole delivery time and the whole process with the delivery. We did have a little mix-up though with the transportation company. So the guy who delivered our machine, he's like contracted out. I don't know the whole like the details on it, but he's like contracted to deliver items, and the company didn't load the machine onto his truck. So when he arrived at our house, the machine wasn't on the truck. And at first he thought he delivered the machine to the wrong address, But he was extremely helpful, and he was able to figure out the whole problem, the whole issue right away. It was actually because the company failed to put the machine on his truck, so he didn't even know that the item wasn't on his truck, but he was able to go back, pick up the machine, and deliver it the same day. So kudos to him, great customer service. With that, it just sucks that he came and didn't have it initially, and when he said he possibly delivered it to the wrong house, that was a little nerve-wracking. But again, we got our machine, it's safe, and it's here with us now. So I'm just really, honestly, just really happy with the whole experience. And I'm excited to see what else we can do with this machine, and hopefully it continues to work well. I'm just really excited just to make a bunch of samples, so stay tuned for a video on a bunch of samples that I'm going to be adding to my shop, because I'm a little bit behind on back to school, and I also need to get Halloween stuff up ASAP, so stay tuned for a video for that. I am going to leave a bunch of information down below on how to snag one of these machines yourself, or one of the other models if you're interested. I'm going to leave my sales reps information down below. I'll leave his email address and also his Facebook page. When we were buying the machine, we did all of our conversations through Facebook. But when we purchased, we did all of our payments through Alibaba. Now, if you do order something off of Alibaba, never pay outside of Alibaba, because if you do, you won't have that buyer protection. So we did all of our, we asked a ton of questions. Steven, our sales rep, he was very helpful with answering any questions that we had. There is a language barrier, just keep that in mind when you are talking with the different sales reps that they have. And after we were done asking all of our questions, we decided that we wanted to purchase the machine. He did send us a link to purchase the machine through Alibaba. So we did all of our conversations on Facebook, but the payment process we did strictly through Alibaba. So again, I'll leave his email down below, and I'll also leave his Facebook too, if you want to talk to him through Facebook Messenger. I know that's a little bit easier for them. It's also a big time difference too, so a lot of times if you email them, they won't get back to you right away. For me, I stay up till 2 a.m. every night, because that's the only time I can work as a stay-at-home mom. So anytime I would email him late at night, he would respond. But if you're on a much different schedule than me, he won't reply back to you right away. Also, if you guys do decide to purchase an embroidery machine, make sure to let Steven know that Nita Fajita sent you, and he will give you guys a couple free gifts. So if you use the code Nita Fajita, you'll be able to get some embroidery thread, the bobbins, and then you'll be able to pick a gift of your choice as well. So definitely, if you're interested, contact Steven, let him know that I sent you. Also, Steven, like I mentioned before, he was extremely helpful. He's actually a co-owner and engineer, I guess I could say, of the company. So if you have any technical questions, he's the guy to go to. Eric, he is the type of person that wants to know every little thing about an item before he purchases, and he asked a ton of questions, and Steven was able to answer all of them. So yeah, so hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I know it wasn't the best tutorial on setting up the machine. It was really hard to film with the kids running around all crazy behind us, because they were just super excited to see this big humongous machine, and they were super curious about it. And we had to troubleshoot a lot of things, so we were constantly stopping, having to look it up on YouTube, having to look it up on the BAi Embroidery group. So it was a big struggle for us at first, but we were able to figure it out, and we're successful at it. I do plan on doing a whole how to set up the embroidery machine video once I feel a little bit more comfortable with it. I feel like I can't teach you guys anything yet because I'm still learning myself, but once I feel like I have mastered it, definitely stay tuned for a bunch of tutorials on how to use the machine, because I know there's not a lot out there. Definitely go join the BAi Embroidery group too. I'm gonna have that linked down below. There's so many helpful people in that group, and they kind of helped me feel a lot more comfortable purchasing a big item like this from China. But I think that is it for this video. Stay tuned for a sample video. I still need to do my giveaway announcement. I know, guys, by the time I do my giveaway, I'm already gonna be at 6K. I do apologize that it's taken me so long, but I'm gonna be doing my giveaway announcement for some free AJ blanks, $50 worth of AJ blanks, 2 t-shirts from my Etsy shop, and a thing of scrunchies. So I'm gonna be picking 3 winners for that giveaway. So if you haven't already, I'll make sure and link that giveaway video right here. You can go enter that giveaway clicking on this YouTube video, and I will be doing that announcement hopefully in the next 2 to 3 days when I film my 4x4 series video. So keep a lookout for that video too. I'm gonna get it out to you guys, I promise. It's just been pretty chaotic with everything going on. We have so much stuff going on, it's unbelievable. We have a new embroidery machine, we have a sublimation printer, now we have a DTF printer. We actually have 2 of them. So we just have a lot of new content coming out for you guys, and we have a lot of new things that we're learning ourselves. So just stay tuned for everything, and I hope you guys understand. I will see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching this video. Bye.